Hey there, Minnesota Vikings fans. You are listening to the Purple People Podcast live. Hey-oh, we thank you for joining us. My name is Kyle West. I am accompanied by the man, Adam Carlson. What is up, sir?
I'm here.
I am looking forward. It's been a while since I've been on. I am super looking forward to this depressing retirement show that we are going to be doing today.
It's been a while since we've been able to have all the hosts on the show together. We're hoping that can happen today. Mr. Smith's still on his way. I believe he is stuck in traffic on his way home. And as soon as he gets home, I believe he's going to be hopping in with us. So that could be cool.
I hope so, if we get the band back together.
I'd like that. I'd like that a lot. But this is episode number 210 of the Purple People Podcast. This one is titled A View to Achilles. I couldn't resist. Not only do I love the movie and the song, but it's just kind of fitting as well.
Singing I will ever do on the podcast is that one line. No more. No more.
Oh, we'll trick you into it a little bit more. Don't worry.
There will be no more singing.
But anytime you can combine James Bond, Duran, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, I know it.
Let's say hi to Jacob and Tommy, both joining us in the chat. Gotta love Tommy.
Tommy
He's been doing some of our work over there on the Purple People Podcast Facebook page. Good stuff there. Like I say, with the live show here, feel free, jump in, leave some comments, ask some questions. Let's get some discussion going. Have some fun.
Butt in and be like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Let me tell you why I'm right and you're wrong.
And that's why Teddy Bridgewater should be a tight end.
A little out there. Oh, Teddy playing tight. Too tiny of ankles for that, Adam. That will not fly.
A little bitty ankles.
Tiny ankles.
Do you want to start off the quick hits this week?
Sure, I can do part of them. Let's start right up at the top. Sad one to start out with. Former Minnesota Vikings head coach Dennis Green has passed away at the age of 67. It's a bummer.
Yeah, that 98 season for a lot of Vikings fans was the best thing they've ever seen.
I was young, and that was one of the first seasons that I started watching Minnesota Vikings football, and so I will always remember that 98 team and like what Dennis Green was able to put together, and that was just like one of the gold standards for Vikings teams, in my opinion.
Randy Moss has come out and expressed how much Dennis Green meant to him as far as the drafting process, developing him, and just giving him a chance with the Vikings. So Dennis Green already had a big part in the hearts of a lot of fans, if not for his time with the Vikings, that awesome speech when he was with the Cardinals.
You want to crown him? Crown their ass.
They are who we thought they were.
We let him off the hook. And you know what? On top of Denny Green being just a good and a great football coach, off the field, you listen to like Randall Cunningham talk about what he was able to do for these guys on a personal level, on a spiritual level. He was just like really well respected players coach that just a lot of people really looked up to.
Absolutely. I know that on the Viking Age, we had a lot of fans that were just in disbelief of what was going on, and losing him kind of like signaled the end of a bit of an era for Vikings fans.
It's sad. Very sad. We'll move on. We got some player retirements to get to. We're going to save one of them for the main topic, but we got some former Minnesota Vikings that are no longer in the league, including wide receiver Greg Jennings and defensive tackle Corey Wooten, and the amazing, awesome robot sack dance, which is what we will always remember him for here at the podcast. Corey Wooten is retired as well, too.
I believe he won one of our year-end awards for that robot dance.
Good memory. Yeah, he sure did. Awesome. Are you surprised? You surprised to see either of them calling it quits, Adam?
I'm not as surprised with Greg Jennings. Jennings was getting older. He'd lost a couple steps from over the years. He wanted to devote himself more to charity and recreation and family. He really is that spiritual, motivational guy. So for him, being off the football field won't be as big of a deal. Now, for Corey Wooten, I don't know what the future holds for him, what his plans are after football. I don't even know if he's got a big family or anything like that. But either way, I do wish him the best. And even though he wasn't a great fit for Minnesota the 1 year he was with the team, it's awesome that he's still willing to recognize that time and thank the organization. Classy move.
And like I said, I'm always going to remember Corey Wooten for that amazing sack dance that he did.
Tommy Gunn remembers Wooten for killing Favre.
Yeah, that too.
He was the last player ever to sack Brett Favre.
Little trivial pursuit, little factoid for you right there. I will say I am a little surprised that Greg Jennings chose to retire right now. I'm going to assume that he must not have got any interest from any teams. I kind of had hoped that maybe he would get another shot with some other organization to come in and be like a veteran mentor, training camp kind of guy for a team, and maybe it would work out, maybe it wouldn't. I had kind of expected that, but I understand that if no team has really reached out to him, he has lots of other things that he does, good work, charity work and whatnot. And I will bet you that he really loved his time in Minnesota. I know that he'll probably get back on good graces with the Packers and show up and do some stuff for them, but he's still got a home here in Minnesota. I would not be surprised if you eventually see him maybe doing some work with like the Vikings Entertainment Network. We've seen former players like Ben Weaver do that. Maybe he shows up every now and then and does some things for the Vikings. You never know.
Absolutely. I don't think it's that Greg Jennings got no interest. A player like Jennings has so much going on outside football that a veteran's minimum salary probably wouldn't even be worth it to him. He can make more money doing events around and camps and all that kind of stuff.
I have a barking dog. I have a barking dog in the background.
Nice.
It is what it is. Let's see here. Barking. Hey, you should take the next one, Adam, because it's all about the Purple People Podcast Survival League.
But we also have Scott Schwab in the chat here talking about how he's happy to see you back.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Scott. That's amazing. That's cool.
He's also talking about a quick hit that we'll hit before the one that you just mentioned. He said that he just watched the 1998 Minnesota versus Dallas game in honor of Dennis Green.
And that baby is up on YouTube right now. You can check it out. You can watch the full game. I think that's awesome that the NFL is releasing some of these like classic historical games in full on YouTube. And fun fact, I learned this yesterday. Me and Adam were talking about this. Mike Zimmer was on the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff and coached against the in that game. And when he was talking about it to the reporters, he still remembered players that got burned by Randy Moss, and he called out specifically a couple plays, like the one with Chris Carter, where they had coverage and there was just like a pass that was right between two guys, and Carter just hauled it in, and Zimmer still seemed pissed off about it to this day. It's pretty cool that he can remember back like specifics to 1998. So that's a fun little fact how that comes around full circle, and now Mike Zimmer's the head coach of the Vikings.
Absolutely. Tommy Gunn says that he put that link up on the Facebook page, and he loves the barking dog. He wants more barking dog.
What, more barking dog? I'll see what I can do.
Purple People Podcast featuring barking dog. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now that's how you get ratings. But just like last year, this year we're going to be doing the Purple People Podcast Survival League on Yahoo again. Just go to Yahoo, go into the Survival Leagues, join a league. The league ID 241. Just one set of 241s, not two. 241.
241.
Those fingers didn't work properly, sorry. But the password is Skull 241. Password Skull, all capital letters. All capitals, like you're yelling it. Skull.
You will have all this info. We'll have all this info up in a much clearer fashion on the Purple People Podcast Facebook page.
Oh, yeah. I've got a nice graphic, and I'm sure we'll be sharing that many more times before the season starts, trying to get it as nice as possible. We're working right now on getting some nice prize packages together for this. We've already got some really cool ideas involving artwork, maybe some cool houseware items, maybe some jewelry. Yeah.
You never know. There might be some Adrian Peterson prints that are involved in this.
Maybe. You never know.
That out.
We got lots of options.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, we had quite a few people that played last year. Last year we gave away a jersey, and it was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed you guys doing that. So hopefully we can get twice as many people in and just help spread, make this fun and give back to you guys. And thank you all for listening and whatnot. So it's really fun. I really like it.
We got some NFC North talk going on in the chats here. People talking about the Lions signing Anquan Bolden, Jordy Nelson tweaking his knee again.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, the Bolden signing scares me a little bit because I don't like that big-bodied wide receiver. He's a fantastic guy, does so much for the community. But the fact that he can go up and get footballs is what's scary.
It is a good fit for Detroit. I understand why they did it. It's another tough one for our corners to have to get out there and try to cover because, like you said, he's older. He's not exactly going to bring you over the top, but he's still to this day, a really good possession receiver.
Oh, yes.
And with players like that, even though they can be covered in good coverage, they can still have the ability to go out there and make an amazing catch and a play. But I feel like our corners are going to be up to the task of covering him. That's what we pay Xavier Rhodes a lot of money for, and Harrison Smith and these guys are going to be making a lot of money to go. I
hadn't heard that about Jordy Nelson having a problem with his left knee, so I gave it a little Google, and there it is. He's placed on the PUP list, no timetable for return. That's scary.
That dude's been banged up a bit.
Scary stuff right there. Let's keep going down the list here. We have some vandalism at US Bank Stadium. Somebody walking along, picking up one of the rocks in the little rock garden there and just tosses it right through the glass pane, the US Bank Stadium. And it sounds like it's going to be a bit of a problem because there was a 6 to 8 week repair timetable on it.
It's because it's custom-made glass. And I am a little concerned that it apparently broke that easily. I thought this was supposed to be super fancy, high-tech space age glass that wasn't really glass. How did someone manage to throw a rock through it and break it after a day? This thing's been up for a day and open. How the hell did that happen?
Well, there's another row of panels on the inside to help keep, from if one breaks. There isn't some more security there. I don't know if it's higher proof glass or anything, but
I haven't seen the photos. Was it through just an actual window? Somewhere
it's through one of the glass panes on the side. Yeah, it smashed right through. There's an article on the Viking Age about the vandalism, and there's a tweet embedded on there. I don't remember who it's from, but it was a photograph of the broken glass and how someone said, that's what you get for building a glass stadium and then surrounding it with rocks.
I mean, that's not funny. That's extremely disappointing, and I doubt that it came from a Vikings fan. Probably just stupid local vandals or whatever.
I think it was the college football Reddit site or something.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm not even going to blame this one on it was a Packers fan or whatever, because I feel like we're all classier than that. We're not, people shouldn't be out actually, don't ruin the stadium, man. This thing is an amazing structure. They spent a lot of money on it. Be proud of it. Don't be a dick and don't throw a glass or a rock through the glass. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they're jerks in every fan base, and I don't know why someone would even want to chuck a rock at it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yuck. Yeah. Eric Spink's hoping it's not a legacy brick. I hope so, too. I hope it wasn't our legacy brick.
I hope it's not our legacy brick. The Purple People Podcast legacy brick just broke a window in the new stadium.
Tommy has a suggestion for a top prize in the Survival League. He wants an autographed Christian Ponder jersey.
We have story. We have a local sports memorabilia baseball, football cards, that kind of place. And he has a Christian Ponder autographed Minnesota Vikings jersey that he's got like $200 on.
Ooh.
And I'll give you one. And I'll give you one guess what has been sitting ever since he's opened. It's the Christian Ponder autographed jersey. I jokingly told him I'd give him like $20 for it one day, and the dude got like super offended. And I'm like, well, so it was a joke, kind of, but not really.
Oh, what a mess. Up next, we have more U.S. Bank Stadium news. On the inside, there's an artist named Nicholas Scheif. He's got a awesome piece of artwork. It's a painting of Prince made up of lyrics to Prince's song, and it's a photograph from his performance of the Super Bowl called Purple Rain, and so it's really cool that Prince will be on display in the stadium at all times. The major rumor once Prince passed away was that he would be one of the first artists that would be putting on a show inside the stadium. And when it was announced that he had passed away, those plans, of course, got scrapped. And it's kind of disappointing that was never able to happen, because the Minnesota Vikings and Prince, those are just two things that Minnesota is absolutely known for.
And he was a really big fan of the Vikings, too. Like, this isn't one of those things where it's like, well, he's a celebrity, but he doesn't really care about the team, but we're going to shoehorn him in because we want the publicity. Like, no, Prince actually was a Minnesota Vikings fan. Like, you could catch him, in the old Metrodome up in the sweet boxes and stuff that they had. Like, he would be there and he would be watching games, and he was a fan of the team. So it would have been really super cool for him to play in U.S. Bank Stadium. It's really nice, though, that they're going to be putting up some pieces of artwork for him and whatnot, too. Because, it is the Vikings Stadium, but it is also, a stadium for the state of Minnesota. And Prince is an important pop culture figure for the state of Minnesota. So it's very cool that they're doing that.
Absolutely. I just got word from Mr. Smith. He says 5 to 10 minutes, so hopefully he'll be able to join us for the main topic, and maybe he's got a bold statement or something else he wants to talk about too. You never know.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to have him here when he can become available. In the chat, we have Josh Gordon talk going on, wondering if Norv Turner misses Josh Gordon.
Probably not. I think Stephon Diggs probably smokes a lot less crack. And it's
no.
Yeah, I'm
bad
sure.
Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith. No, bad Mr. West.
I'm sure he smokes a lot less drugs than what Josh Gordon does. So we're just a much better fit with Diggsy here in Minnesota than Josh Gordon.
Oh, no. But there is something to be said. Josh Gordon is a very talented player. Good hands, speedy, everything like that. But he's got that one strike away from being out of the NFL forever.
And I feel like it's going to happen. Don't you? I mean, I hate to judge someone. Like, I always want to say, hey, they can turn it around. They can turn their life around and do the Chris Carter thing and figure it out. I really just feel like Josh Gordon is going to get this next strike. And that's probably not thing to say. That's not a positive thing to say, but it's probably going to happen. So I'm just saying, maybe not draft him in your fantasy football team.
No.
When you're in the Purple People Podcast Survival League, well, it don't work like that, but still.
No, you don't pick the Browns in that league. Don't.
Yeah, just don't.
Well, you can go ahead if you want to. But
at some point, you have to take the Browns, right?
If you make it that far, well, no, because there wouldn't be 32 games.
Yeah.
So you can avoid the Browns completely if you want to.
You could, but you could take the Brownies.
My early strategy is picking against the Browns as early and often as possible.
It's a pro tip.
That's the way I'm going. Then again, I'm always out really early, so I would not listen to a word I say because it's a bad idea.
I would pick Jacksonville all the time.
Team on the rise, I tell you.
Toby Gerhart, free agent. Hey, there's a quick hit that we didn't add in. Toby Gerhart got fired from Jacksonville.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was texting Mr. Smith. I was hoping Mr. West would hold me over with a nice little segue while I did that. But
Well, I'm not good at segues. I'm good at dead air, though.
That's some pretty sweet dead air. We love that.
Yeah.
Up next, we've got some more talk about the practice facility and headquarters that are going into Egan. Now, they have already broken ground, so construction has technically begun. But they're
break
going
it, you
to be...
buy it. They bought it.
What's that?
I said, you break it, you buy it, and they've bought that headquarters now.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But they're going to be holding a ceremony for the groundbreaking on August 2nd for those that want to check it out. I don't know if it's open to the public. I don't know what's going on with it. But either way, if you're in the area, it's worth checking out because it should be a pretty amazing facility.
Mm-hmm.
And those groundbreakings are always fun. There's plenty of officials from the team on hand. Sometimes there's quite a few players as well. Cheerleaders, mascots. They make a big event out of it, so it's pretty cool.
Remember that time they had Leslie Frazier there for the groundbreaking ceremony with U.S. Bank Stadium? And knew that, hey, he's going to be fired. Why is he here?
Oh, yeah. Lame. Just a lame duck there.
And it was really awkward.
Poor guy.
Really super awkward. Poor guy. You have to, but, he's coach of the team at the time. I don't... Okay, I'm excited because the team is going to have a new state-of-the-art facility, and I like it and all that stuff. But I don't like it to segue into the next topic. They're probably going to be moving training camp away from Mankato and out to their new headquarters. And that's the big speculation, Adam. And you guys know that I always go up to training camp. Every single year I've gone up there for, I don't even know how many years now in a row, a long time. And it is an incredibly fun thing to go to because it's such a personal atmosphere because it's on a small college field and you're able to get just so incredibly close to the players. And you can just meet all the fans and stuff. And there's not really... I look at a lot of other training camps around the league, and there's not really many that are done like that anymore. It really is a callback to years and years ago when that was how teams were ran. And when they go to the new headquarters and the new practice facility, and they probably will move training camp there because, let's face it, they're going to be spending a lot of money on this new building. It's going to be way different, and you're not going to have that personal feeling that you get of just being close to the team anymore. And there's my phone making all kinds of noises. Hey, thank you, eBay.
There you go.
Yeah, but you're just not going to have that personal, closeness with the team. I've been within arm's distance of Adrian Peterson, and I can guarantee you that when they move training camp, you're not going to be that close to Adrian anymore. And it's sad to see that potentially come to an end. I don't know. What do you think about it?
I've never been to training camp. I don't know what goes on at training camp. I'd like to go to training camp. We have a guy from the Viking age going to training camp this year who's going to get us a lot of cool insight. But I don't know much about it. I only know what I've seen on TV and what I hear in reports. From what I understand, the current facility is really intimate. And I don't think that you're going to have that same kind of feel at the new facility in Egan. But then again, this is a new generation of the Minnesota Vikings moving from the past into the future. And this facility in Egan will be state-of-the-art, and that's what the Vikings are going towards right now.
The positives that I can see from going to Mankato for a number of years is that they it's a small... My camera just froze up. That's really flattering.
Nice.
It's a really small facility, and it gets packed with people right away, which is fun because you get to meet a lot of Vikings fans, but it also sucks because seating just goes right away. Just right away. You have to camp out, and you've got to be there early, especially for night practices and stuff like that. So going to an area where I'm assuming there's going to be much more seating, it can hold much more fans, which gives more people the opportunity to go to it. That will be a positive. It will be more of a positive because if it's going to be in a permanent spot. So that will give the opportunity to have it be more fan-centric as to whether that's bringing about more Vikings gear and more activities for the fans. It's a temporary home when you're in Mankato, so they have to shuffle everything on a bus, buses and trailers down there. So it means that you're dealing with like temporary shop that sells out of like the good stuff fast, and there's not really a way to replenish it. And so I can see the benefits of it, but there's also other aspects that you're going to miss out on. Really quick, one of the things is a lot of people like to camp out and get autographs for players because you can see them moving to and from buildings and whatnot, and you can camp out and you can meet players and stuff. Well, when it goes to a new facility, as well as I do that it's going to be big buildings, and once they go in the locker room, that's it, they're done, and you're never going to see them again. So you're going to have the opportunity to see them on the field, and then that's it. And so the fun of, hey, I'm in a gas station and I just ran into Greg Jennings or Cordero Patterson, or hey, I'm at the store and I just ran into Toby Gerhart. And like that's all stories that fans have in Mankato because the players just go out and lounge around. And that's not going to happen when they move training camp away. But it's positives and negatives of both sides.
Absolutely. Those people that get the Vikings autographs and go and sell them on eBay won't be as happy now.
Yeah, those people are dicks. Don't be that guy.
Push the kid out of the way, get the autograph, put it on eBay, boom, money.
Well, go get that Donovan McNabb autograph. I've told that story on the show. That happened. I was up there the year that we signed McNabb, and like one of the first practices that he was like out there and was signing autographs, and the very next day there was like, hey, $250. Here's a helmet with Donovan McNabb's signature on it. Just don't be the people to do that.
Weird how that.
Mm-hmm.
I got you cutting out a little bit, and that is because Mr. Smith is joining in.
Whoa, what's up, sir?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
It is awesome.
There he is. He joined us just as we were talking about moving the training camp from, moving it out to Egan. What do you think about that? You got any opinion on that?
I don't have much opinion on that. I mean, I was just wondering when I was going to join the show today, honestly. I'm just glad I could be back.
I love that we were able to get you in. We had to move the time back a little bit. Still had some problems with traffic, but we all got here eventually. It's been a long time since the three of us have gotten in to do a show together, so this is cool. I like it.
I'm digging the K9 shirt. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm back in the old USA, so.
Welcome home.
So you're repping dogs. You're repping California. I got Mega Man.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd.
It's all right. That's what makes this. That's what makes this little blend perfect.
A shell necklace in California shirt, man. You picking up surfing in there in Iowa, or what's going on?
In Iowa, yeah. I surfed the Boone River.
Oh, we got guys making fun of you in the chat, Mr. Smith, for your white room again.
Yes.
You gotta love that white room.
I like bright colors. I don't know what to say.
You gotta get some purple in there. Like, dude, like you get some big Viking stuff.
I wish I could show you, but the back of my Mac that I do all this on has got a huge Viking sticker, and it glows in the middle because of the Apple logo. So.
Ooh.
Kind of like an Iron Man, like a Viking. It's pretty good.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, so quick hits. I believe we are all done with them now.
Bullshit in our way through all of those, Adam.
We went through the entire kit and caboodle.
We sure did. Let's talk about the main topic.
Yeah.
Timing, Mr. Smith. We're going to talk about Phil Lodeholt. Heyo, he has announced his retirement from the NFL. The Vikings have officially placed him on the reserve retired list.
I did not see this.
Bit of a shocker.
We've been talking for a while about how we aren't sure about the status of Phil Lodeholt or John Sullivan coming into training camp. When Phil Lodeholt took that pay cut, it was kind of like, what's going on here? You know, this is kind of a weird move for him, a guy who has helped pave way for Adrian Peterson during that 2,000-yard rushing season. He is known for just being a mauling run blocker. Why would he be asked to take a pay cut? And then when the Vikings go out and get Andre Smith, it's like, well, wait a minute. Okay, so now they're bringing in this guy to compete for the spot against a guy they just asked to take a pay cut and is struggling with injuries. So the writing was on the wall essentially the whole time here. The Vikings knew what they were doing, and they made sure that they had some insurance at the position. And maybe Phil Lodeholt was practicing and realized, hey, this Achilles tendon injury that I had is just way too much. I'm too big of a guy. The things that I have to do in order to protect Teddy Bridgewater, make holes for Adrian Peterson, I just can't do what I did anymore. And because of that, I'm going to give it up and retire. Now, Phil Lodeholt has had the pleasure of having a nice career to this point. He's made a pretty hefty sum at right tackle, so he's got enough to put away to deal with his family, any emergencies for a while. He's good to go in that respect. He's going to keep going on with all the different events in Minnesota, particularly those with the Vikings. So I wouldn't say that he's absolutely done with the Vikings. He will return in some capacity, even if it's just to come back for training camp and talk to some of the players every once in a while. He will be involved. But to have that hole at right tackle that's going to be plugged by Andre Smith, after seeing Phil Lodeholt there for so many years, is going to feel kind of weird.
He had mentioned really quick, Adam, potentially about going back to school and getting finishing a degree, and I don't remember exactly what it was for, but so he definitely has his goals and plans that he's doing after the Minnesota Vikings. You're right. They've planned for it. I still think it comes as a bit of a shock. Like, I didn't expect this to happen right now. I thought maybe after this season, you can see how it goes, see how he plays. But I understand completely. He only got one body, and he is a really big, large person. And so you have to take care of your... Like, I get it. I totally get it.
I think for me, the questions that maybe will be answered later, and maybe if he decides to talk to, I don't know, Wabi or somebody, but was it the injury or was it the fact that he didn't want to compete? And here's the weird thing about this whole thing for me. It's the timing is weird. It was kind of unexpected, like we all said. Like, I think Adam said the writing might have been on the wall. I wasn't expecting it at all. I was expecting him maybe to take a plug-in role instead of a starting role. But the thing that's weird for me is now you got to look at the guys that are going to replace him. You have Andre Smith or you have T.J. Fleming. You got to remember, this is my friend Mike, good friend of mine back home, reminded me, the left side is where you have a smaller athletic guy like Matt Khalil. The right side, you can have those big bulldozers. This is not like we're asking him to be a defensive end and be crazy, athletic and move all the way around. So I really wonder how bad the injury was. Was it confidence? Was it strength? Is it just age? Is it just that time? But then you've got to look now. You had T.J. Clemmings, who was forced into a role last year, which I don't think he did a horrible job, in my opinion. And then you've got a guy who's kind of a question mark in Andre Smith for us because I haven't done my due diligence to do research, but he's a big guy. I would expect him to take the role. But this is a really, really interesting – this move, I know everybody wants to see the wide receiver battle. I kind of want to see what happens with Mackenzie Alexander, where he goes around Trey Waynes' role, moving up a little bit the chart. But this job at right tackle now, this just became my new favorite thing to look for in camp.
What's really weird to think about right now is that for the Minnesota Vikings this season, there could only be one player returning to their starting position from last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of scary when you think about it.
It's very true. That's a solid point.
Scary stuff.
You got right earlier. I mean, it's just going to – last year we expected Phil to sit it out because we know how bad the Achilles is. He's a top-heavy big dude. We thought he would come back. But now that he's not, this is going to take – I know we had a year of a question mark, kind of like when Adrian sat out. We all knew he was coming back. We all expected Phil to come back. But now that he's not, you're kind of like, man, it's just that's the way you want to see it. I want to see him healthy when he goes out, and I'm glad he went out on his own terms. But I just hate it. Father Time is always undefeated, especially when the injuries come in. But I wasn't expecting. It's going to be really weird to see someone else there like permanently.
We've been talking for a long time about how bad an Achilles injury can be for a player on the offensive line. And it is much more severe than you'd really ever expect it to be. The lateral movement, the explosion you need, the push. It's just a lot goes off that foot. And if you don't have that footing, you'll get blown past, knocked down, everything.
And we're also in a different day and age.
But the mental aspect of it as well.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Adam, we're in a different day and age as well, too, of not only player safety, but players recognizing that I have to take care of myself in the long term. If this would have been 5 years ago, I bet you Phil Loadholt is back on the field and he's playing right now. No questions asked. But it's not just, people looking about concussions. Players are now looking at the whole, their whole body and taking care of themselves. And if there's any kind of question marks now, you're seeing players that are saying, hey, I've got my money, I've made what I'm going to do, I'm going to retire now before I do permanent damage to myself. I think that is a big factor that is going into why he retired now, as opposed to trying to tough it out and play another 2 for the team.
Well, if he were to try to play another 2 or 3 years with that Achilles the way it is, he might actually do some permanent damage to his foot.
Exactly.
And you don't want to be a big guy like that limping around. That's not good. That's not good at all.
What do you think Phil's legacy is as a Minnesota Viking? Now you can look back now, and you can reflect on his entire career. I will say that he was a good but not great player for the Minnesota Vikings, who was very solid. He was solid throughout his time with the team, but he was never like an elite level tackle, but he definitely got the job done for the team.
I'll always remember him as an elite run blocking right tackle. I will. But there are a lot of reasons why fans might not feel that way. He wasn't that great in pass protection.
Penalized a lot.
Yeah, he had several penalties as far as false starts. It's just been some problems with holding, and I don't know, some people might tarnish his legacy a bit because of the penalties, the poor pass protection, but when he was asked to come in and create holes for Adrian Peterson, he did one hell of a job.
Yeah, he did. I guess I'm just a homer. I'm biased to that. I would call him the road grinder. Like you said, he's not a household name, but you need somebody who's going to show up to work on time and do their job. I mean, that's him, 110%. I think it makes players more relatable to fans like us too when he has penalties like that. Obviously, we don't want him to be like that, but not every team's going to have a Peyton Manning or a Brett Favre at every position. I mean, we're lucky to have had an Adrian Peterson for a decade. Some teams don't get that kind of stuff at important positions, and the offensive line. As Adam likes to give love, I'll give it right now. The offensive line never gets enough love anyways. And when you have the best running back in the league for however long, you better be making holes for him. Otherwise, people are going to be like, what the hell are you doing? So I think he did a really good job in that area. But, yeah, I mean, he struggled in the areas you guys already highlighted. But I'm going to miss him, man. He was the big ogre of a man. We wish you well. I'm glad that, like Kyle said earlier, people are more conscious now to take care of themselves. I'm really interested later on in the road, if he decides to speak up about it, what exactly brought him to this? Was it the injury? Was it father time? Was it age? Was it salary? Was it having to compete and just readjusting? Was it confidence? But I have nothing bad to say about the man. I'm bummed to see him leave.
No, from every interview I've ever seen and every video, it seems like he was a good-spirited guy on the football field, except when it was time to play football, he got that angry face on and plowed right through. And that's what's so awesome about being an offensive lineman, man. off the field, you can be funny, you can have a good time, you can just be a jokester, prankster, whatever. But when you get on that football field and it's time to get work done, you don't want to be in those big fellas' way.
Yeah, and you guys are right too. As he was always one of my favorite players to shoot photographs of when I was up in Mankato, up in training camp and stuff. Because on a field full of really large, athletic guys, Phil Lodeholt was head and shoulders above everyone else, just in terms of how massive of a guy he was. So how many people did they bring into training camp, Adam, at the beginning of it? 90? 92?
Yeah, 92, I believe.
93. So there'd be 93 people, and you could pick Phil Lodeholt out of the bunch just based on how tall and just large and massive of a frame that he had. It was really... You cannot just even really describe just how big of a guy he was, and still is huge.
All right, since we didn't have a social media question for this week, we posed a question to the people in the chat here as far as what they want for a social media question, and I'll let you guys decide which one, Mr. Smith or Mr. West, which one we pick. Tommy Gunn says, after the loss of Phil Lodeholt, we know that not every player can stay on the team. What players would you hate to see cut that are on the position bubble? I feel like we've asked that in a way before.
That's a good question, though.
It is. Eric Spink says, who do you project as being the rookie standout at camp?
Bobo.
We are entering that camp time where there's going to be a lot of questions, a lot of underrated players getting some time. This is where we saw so many great players like Audie Cole come in and just blow our minds.
I think that would be a fun one.
The rookie standout?
Yeah, rookie standout.
I'm telling you, man,
Eric Spink, we're going to use your question, buddy.
I love this question. Everybody wants to see Laquan Treadwell because our passing game needs to up it, but I am sold 100% on Mackenzie Alexander. I watched a lot of his stuff the last couple of days because college football's amping up. I heard Nick Saban, on ESPN a lot lately, so I looked up some Clemson footage because I'm pretty close to there, about an hour from Clemson, my hometown. And the kid had so many games where a touchdown was not on his side of the field. It wasn't his fault, and it's crazy, especially when you go to the national championship. So I'm sold on that, but we'll get into that next week. I'm really interested to see what all of you guys say for that.
The German Randy Moss, he's going to be the standout, right? Right, Adam?
Kentrell Brothers, man. Kentrell. He'll shine against those third-team offenses. You just watch.
Bobo is gonna look great in preseason game number 4 with 3 minutes left when he finally gets to see the field for 2 plays.
Oh, jeez, I tell you.
Twitter is just gonna freak out.
Yes, they
like,
are.
oh my God, he caught a pass for 3 yards and then the game was over. But Jesus, did you see his possession skills on that, guys? On the 3-yard catch?
Oh, yeah. It is. It's going to explode. It's going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun. Willie Beavers for life in the chat.
I forgot about Willie Beavers. I forgot about the Beav.
You can't forget about the Beavers. Pay attention to the Beavers. Once again, I want to remind you guys, we do have the Purple People Podcast Survival League running. I've said it before, League ID 241. Password, Skull all caps. Go join. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got some prizes. We're constantly putting together these prize packages too, so just let us know.
Adrian. You guys get Adrian, among other things. I always got random eBay shit next to my table, because that's what I do. We could give away a Mark Sanchez New York Jets plaque. You guys want to win that? We can toss that in. Maybe for the person who gets eliminated first from the league could get the Mark Sanchez New York Jets plaque.
The first person to pick the Browns and win with using the Browns gets that.
That was the butt fumble picture. I'd lose on purpose so I could have that on my wall.
I could print out. I can put whatever photo in that you want to. I could print out the butt fumble photo and put that in.
There you go.
That's an amazing idea.
That's a Purple People Podcast gift of the week. I want a butt fumble pillow, and I want that to be like extra large pillowcase.
Oh, jeez.
Have you seen those weird Japanese anime full body pillows? You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like a weird new fad in Japan. They're like, yeah, you need one of those with like Mark Sanchez, the butt fumble photo, on one like that.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of single ladies that might like that too.
Yo.
Hey, ladies love Mark Sanchez. They do. I don't know what it is. Since you weren't here from the beginning, is there anything you want to talk about that happened during the week?
Nope. I think it's the what is this? The last week before we get started for camp, right? They start next week.
Yep. Any thoughts on Denny Green or? We've got.
I'll be honest. I'm gonna apologize to people that I'm late today. The traffic's horrible. Welcome back to the USA. I just got back, so I really just sprinted home as fast as I could to get on here. But I will be fully prepared next week. I promise you.
Nice. I like that.
I'm just glad we all three got together on a show finally. It feels like forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. We get back to doing this on a regular basis.
And a huge thanks to our guests that filled in during that time. It was so nice to have people be able to come in and hop and take over for us for a little bit. There are times when we won't be able to be here. It's going to happen. And to have guys like Tommy Gunn or Jordan Wright come on in and help us out and talk to the fans a little bit and just talk Vikings football. I love talking Vikings football. I love it. And the fact that we got people that want to talk Vikings football with us makes it even better. No Hank Basket. No Love Boat memorabilia. No Joe Webb. No.
Joe Webb.
I don't know. I don't know.
He was the quarterback savior for one game.
None of that.
Favorite. It is still my favorite press conference quote of all time. When they released Randy Moss for the second time, and the media guy asked Brad Childress, like, well, what's the plan for the team? And he's like, well, it's okay, we have Hank Basket. Like, I know this was Randy at the tail end of his career, but one of these is not like the other guys.
And if you ever watched that show Kendra, and you saw some of that stuff that Hank Basket did, the scene with the bed sheets, oh my God.
What he's up to. Do you think we could get Hank Basket on the show?
Let's do it.
Yeah, so when we find him he's probably got a Twitter account. This is your assignment, fans of the Purple People podcast. Start tweeting to Hank Basket, whatever his Twitter profile is, that he should come on the show. Just be like, we really want you on the show, Mr. Basket. We will buy you chocolate. Just come on.
Guaranteed. That's a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
The chocolate of your choosing.
Yeah, Cadbury eggs or something.
Scott Schwab wants to know if any of you guys are going to the Metallica concert or the soccer game. Just check out the new stadium.
You know,
I wish, but I cannot afford tickets.
I don't have the money or the time. Kind of need those, but I would like to.
Now there is also a flag football tournament going on there that you can sign up for and go play.
What?
Yep.
Fun.
Man.
I'm going to be up in Mankato for training camp this year, and we're talking about, it's a bit of out of the way, but we are talking about making a trip by to see the stadium and whatnot. So
you should totally do that and take a photo, man.
Here's what I don't understand. You make a call out for people to tweet to Hank Basket, but we can't make a call out for people to find our legacy brick at the stadium.
Well, we should. Yeah, you guys should do that for real too. Like if you're at the stadium, look for our brick. Find our brick. Make sure it wasn't our brick that went through the window. It's
got our 3 names on it. We weren't allowed to put Purple People Podcast. You can't advertise brands, otherwise it'd be like, this brick was brought to you by Pepsi, and nobody wants that.
God forbid we promote the Vikings at a Viking football game. That would be terrible.
True.
But like I said, if you find a picture of our brick, take a nice little picture of it and send it on over to us, it would be greatly appreciated. And honestly, I'm just kind of wondering where it is.
That's it.
I really hope we're on the. I hope we're on the ship.
I want to be on the ship too.
If I want to go in with this or not, I'll do it myself. The first person that'll take a picture, and even better, we did this when I went to the memorial in Washington for the fallen soldiers a long time ago. You can find the names of whoever and whatever war when they passed away, their names on the wall. You get a piece of paper and you etch that in for us, or take a photo of you doing that. I will buy you something fairly nice. I'm not going to go as far as a jersey, but I'll go up in the, let's say, the $40, $50 range. I'll get you something.
Find you something nice.
Yeah, we'll find you something nice, some Vikings memorabilia. But you have to send it to the Facebook page in a direct message. Get that to me, and you have my word. First person that does that can say they were there. Give me some actual proof. We'll get you something nice from Vikings.com or somewhere else with Vikings memorabilia.
That sounds like a challenge. We need to put that on the Facebook page.
That is a challenge right there. I like it.
Challenge some people to do that. Yeah.
I like it a lot.
We'll send them a butt fumble photo.
Nobody wants the butt fumble photo.
Oh, I totally want it.
I know. You guys want to know legit where I got this from? You know how much I got this and what I paid for it? I got
you paid too much for it.
I got $5 at a Goodwill store.
It's like whenever they had a $2 Christian Ponder jersey. I'm like, you're going to pay me $2 to wear this? Because I'm not going to give you $2 to buy it.
As you can see, I've been eating it on the Mark Sanchez thing. I thought for sure that there will be everyone is someone's favorite player. There will be some Jets fan that will be like, "Hey, I need that." And
or a Broncos fan
cannot
who presents a picture of his Broncos jersey.
That's true.
I can't give that thing away, Adam. I've tried it for 99 cents with free shipping. I'm not even kidding. Nobody wants it.
Oh, poor Sanchez. Come on.
No,
Somebody will love the Sanchez.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I'm hoping that he has a bounce back year for Denver so that I can finally sell this thing.
I mean, well, this is the Vikings podcast, but can he have a worse year statistically than Peyton Manning did last year? Is it possible? I don't know.
I don't know. Could happen. Tommy Gunn's talking about something interesting in the chat over there. Facebook Live at the season opener. If you're going to be there, man, you've got our signing stuff. Feel free.
I'm going to be at the Panther game. I won't be at the opener in Tennessee. I'll be 2 weeks later in Carolina. But I will definitely, I told you guys, I'm going to live tweet, and I'm going to send some videos. Every time we get close to the end zone, I'll have it up so you guys can watch it.
Yeah, live stream that stuff, man.
Absolutely.
Cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
Facebook live streaming, it's genius.
Oh, it's awesome. Good stuff. We've used it over on Undead Walking a couple times. And we've had some fantastic results. We had one of our guys go in, and he was at E3, checking out all the cool games and stuff. Dead Rising, Resident Evil, fun stuff. Zombies. I like zombies.
Sweet.
So hopefully we can get a little bit of that stuff in. That's all I have for this week. I don't think we need to remind again about the Survival League. I think we've been pounding that pretty hard this show, as well as Mark Sanchez. Lots of talk there. You guys got anything else you want to add?
No, I'm glad to be back. I'll be on a lot of vacation shares. So I'll try to figure out something to say next week. Maybe a question instead of a statement. I don't know. We'll get there, though. Just glad to be back.
Yeah, we'll keep the discussion going. And we have been rolling for almost an hour here, so we should probably get going. On that note, remember to go and check out the Facebook page. We got a lot of conversation going there. I've been taking care of the Viking Ages Facebook page. We are almost to 10,000 likes on there. We've been building that page like crazy. So I could appreciate it if you go on over there, give that a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment or something, help it grow a little bit. I'd like that. Walking Dead currently on break. But Undead Walking is a great place to get information about casting and rumors and storylines and everything. So just come on over. If you like The Walking Dead, give a big thumbs up there. Kyle West doesn't have his neat little bar on the bottom like I do. Otherwise, you'd know Kyle West photography.
It was there earlier when we were talking, and then it just went away.
Yeah, it ran away.
You guys are going to have to teach me how to do that
It's
now
good.
that I have a YouTube channel to promote.
Absolutely. And at Purple People Pod, come talk to us on Twitter. I think one of us still works Twitter, right? Someone does?
Yeah, sometimes.
Once in a while.
We get more active during football season. That's when I like to live tweet the football games. That's when that's when it gets going.
Oh, yeah, that's fun times. And on that note, I'd like to thank everyone for listening, and stay classy, Minnesota.